have to admit, I'm stunned to be in the position today of having to tell you the following about what's going on in the United States. We are seeing the deployment of the military, not just to one city, but we are now starting to move towards President Donald Trump establishing a de facto police state nationally with the goal of deploying troops to numerous cities. If you thought that Donald Trump's authoritarian threats during the campaign were merely bluster, or if you believed, no, he's for real, but it's not going to go any further than LA, well, then we got Washington, D.C. And if you then thought, okay, it was the LA test case and then Washington, D.C. because Trump's in D.C. and he just wants to deal with what he sees around him and not go any further, then you are also wrong. Because what is happening right now in Washington, D.C. is being planned for cities across the country. And it is straight out of the authoritarian police state playbook. That's where we are. Thousands of National Guard troops and federal law enforcement officers are patrolling Washington, D.C., and we are now getting an escalation where Guard units are openly carrying firearms. We're talking rifles, handguns, holstered sidearms on city streets. So the reality here is that we have armed soldiers patrolling the Capitol against the will of local leaders. So this is something we typically think about in war zones, situations of occupation, not the United States. And it's not stopping because the Pentagon has been planning a military deployment to Chicago, and it appears that that is going to be next. It won't just be the National Guard. It's potentially going to include active duty military as well. We could be days or weeks away from that. Thousands of Guard members sent to patrol additional city streets. New York is on Donald Trump's own publicly stated list. He's floated Baltimore after getting into a spat with Maryland Governor Wes Moore, which, by the way, we're going to get to that a little bit later. Wes Moore said to Trump, come see the city yourself. Trump's response was, well, maybe I'll send in troops. Chicago Mayor Brandon Johnson says the city has reduced homicides by 30% in the last year. Robbery is down. Shootings are down without a single soldier on the street. And yet Donald Trump wants to use Chicago and apparently New York as political props. That's what they are. Baltimore as well. And he says, these are the targets. We're going to go after the crime. We're going to go after the homelessness. We're going to go after immigration. And we've now heard from Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, who says this is an attempt to manufacture a crisis and to abuse power, which of course it is.
Los Angeles Mayor Karen Bass and other LA officials didn't just protest against it and try to stop it. They also warned the country that, yeah, he's doing this to us first, but it's going to be you next. They were clear-eyed about that. They were right. And we clearly are now in the part of the attempted authoritarian takeover where our authoritarian leader just starts trying to turn our own military to face us, the people of this country. And the questions that are equally important in response to that right now are, number one, what will the troops do about that? And number two, what will we do?
Now, disgusting. There's the evil girl. Get mad. Get mad. Do you? Yes or no? Do you know words? Yeah, get the fuck out. They're riding an unmarked vehicle on 14th Street right now. Get out of here, you Nazi fucks. Get out of here, you Nazi fucks. You Nazi fucks. Shame on all of you. Shame on all of you. Get out of here. 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 You piece of fucking dildo. Everybody hates your guts, piece of shit. Your wife is at home waiting to leave you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you. Fuck you! Fuck you! Get out of here!
We're about to go on a run here through DC and show you what it looks like now that the Trump administration has sent in the National Guard and federalized our police force. Didn't even get to start the run. I'm on my block. We've got police right here. This is Border Patrol, and then these are some unmarked vehicles, as well as more Border Patrol. Now following that group of cars, we're about 4 blocks in. All right, just got to Union Station. Here is what the scene looks like. Kind of a weird scene here, but we've got 3 of these military trucks sitting behind me. Now I'm headed in the direction of the Capitol. There's a bunch of whistles blowing, as well as a bunch of sirens coming up the street, it sounds like. I'm not sure what building this is, but it turns out it's megaphones and pots and pans, and they're trying to disturb whatever building this is. Just to be 100% clear, none of these videos are meant for like fear-mongering. I'm not trying to scare anyone. I just simply want to show you what it looks like and obviously draw your own conclusions. I'm not here to necessarily put out a narrative, but at the same time, if there is something that is blatantly obvious and a threat to people's safety and other DC residents, I'm going to call it out in the video, even if it's my opinion. I just circled back to head back to Martin Luther King Jr. Library now that it is shut down to see what happens. And in front of me, I have about 8 agents along with police. We got Border Patrol, Secret Service, Homeland Security Investigations, and one that just says federal agent.
Get the fuck out of my city!
Your brother never loved you!
There's a group of Border Patrol and MPD behind me. They just stopped 2 men for smoking weed, which to my knowledge is legal in DC. Someone please correct me if I'm wrong. Just in the few blocks that I walked alongside those federal agents, the number of scared reactions that I saw from people of color that were walking just down the street minding their business was insane. Just to give you an example, a black mother and her son was walking down the street. The second they turned the corner and saw the agents walking towards them, she immediately grabbed her son's hand and told him, when you see these people out here walking around, you're gonna hold my hand because I want them to know that you're mine and you're not out here causing trouble because we don't want any trouble with them. It was truly just so disheartening to see. I'm popping by the White House right now just to see if there's any protests going on. Not much going on, just seemed like tourists. I'm at the George Washington University campus now. There was heavy presence here tonight. Not so much anymore. There's a couple individuals hanging out by some of the tents that are normally here, so I'm gonna go see what's being said there. So this is right here in front of some of the tents here at Washington Circle by GW campus. Again, I don't necessarily want to show faces, but one person was picked up here by a shelter van that took him to a local shelter as opposed to being surrounded here in Washington Circle by a bunch of federal agents. It sounds like there's a lot of confusion between the different agencies and who's in charge of what. For example, at that location, DC police was putting up a bunch of notices on all the tents, letting people know that they do have to leave the area eventually. Some agencies showed up and honored that and basically moved on with their night. It sounds like some of the other agencies would show up and basically ignore the notice and start asking people, hey, do you have somewhere you can go right now? You got to go. It wasn't forceful, but I'm sure it's definitely causing some confusion amongst the unhoused people here. I was just in Wawa and 2 DC police officers were in there talking to each other. I listened to them as they chatted amongst themselves when they realized that they got the official notification that they are allowed to ask immigration status of people that they detain. They looked at each other and immediately shook their heads, and then one of them said, that ain't my job. That just tells me that the police here even feel like it's an overreach. All right, now that's all I got for tonight, so good night.
So the cops and the feds are about 30 agents deep at this checkpoint right now to apparently stop people for seatbelts, blinkers, or tints on their cars, stopping the real bad crime that is plaguing DC. So why do you need Homeland Security investigation to manage if they're not wearing their seatbelt? Someone riddle me that. And why do you need 30 people standing around doing nothing with our tax dollars at a checkpoint if it's about seatbelts and safety? Someone please tell me.
So, what's with Trump's health? Is he dying? Or is he just fine? Is he sick? Or is he well? The swollen face and the eyes reduced to slits we saw the other day, that's just nothing? The bruises and the makeup on his right hand, the Simpsons-like cartoon left hand, the balloons around his ankles, that's just a chronic vein condition. And no, this Trump doctor, this one isn't lying, not this one. Is the President of the United States, whatever we think of him, the most powerful man in the world? Is he gravely ill? Would they tell us if he were? Would they tell him? And where is the same media that tried to break Joe Biden last year when Joe Biden was twice as healthy then as Trump is now? Also, Trump's latest terrorist invasion of Chicago, this is about the Illinois Governor J.B. Pritzker, just like L.A. was actually about Governor Gavin Newsom, just like New York will be about Zoran Mamdani. And it's all unconstitutional, and it's all more of the Trump dictatorship unchallenged. And what? The Epstein files were in John Bolton's house? And Trump's cult is going to believe one of the Ghislaine Maxwell lies, but not the other 700 about the Trumpstein cover-up?
People are ticked off. They're not happy with the direction of the country. The country's in a sour mood. Donald Trump and the MAGA agenda are really unpopular. And remember the central thing, the number one issue that very clearly got him the key votes he needed, the crucial votes he needed to win the election last year, was widespread anger about high prices.
When I win, I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
And here's the thing. Americans are still seeing costs for just about everything, including particularly things like ground beef and a lot of grocery store staples, going up. People are feeling it. They're making themselves heard. And while most Republican lawmakers are not listening, some Democrats have been trying to do it for them, holding empty chair town halls, people's town halls in Republican congressional districts. Now, the way democracy is supposed to work, the way our democracy is supposed to work, any democracy, is that elected leaders answer to the people that elect them. And in the most basic terms, it's a kind of like, yeah, this is good, keep going, or no, boo, we don't like this, right? That's the broadest way public opinion and representative democracy works. And right now, the public, en masse, in town halls and in polls and everywhere else, is shouting, booing, and hissing. The way that they booed and hissed at Elise Stefanik. And they're booing and hissing at the White House, and they don't want to hear it, the White House, that is, nor do the congressional Republicans. But I do not think ignoring it is going to make it go away, even though that appears to be the play.
I will immediately bring prices down starting on day one.
$6.15 fucking cents for a half a pound of Greek hot sweet peppers. What the hell? Is this what you voted for? The highest fucking food cost I've ever seen in my entire life? $9 for some damn pizza sauce. $10 fucking for a small pack of Starbucks coffee. Oh my God. Got a dang sweet treat for the dog. $20. Sweet treat for the dog. Sorry. $20. I guess you're gonna have to just find me fucking stinking. Cause look at that. Clearance. $8.39. I'm telling you right now. We're going to be paying $100,000 for a loaf of bread before this administration is over. The same administration that told us that on day one energy prices would come down, that the war in the Ukraine would be over, that the price of gas and food and it's all going to be a miracle. And if you go on their Instagram page right now, they're telling you it is a miracle. Only we can see. Our wallets know.
It's time for the Trucker John Livestream. Gonna be a good time, oh yeah. The Trucker John Livestream. Come along for a good time. It's a good time, good time, good time, good time. Trucker John Livestream. It's gonna be a good time. Time of your life. Gonna talk some shit. Hush your mouth. Gonna talk a little smack. Gonna talk whatever comes of it. You're gonna always wanna come back. Well, yeah, it's the Trucker John Livestream. He's the biggest, baddest, funniest mother you've ever seen. Watch your mouth. He's headed south. Not even sure what that means, but if it's one thing I know, the Trucker John Livestream is the best thing you've ever seen.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the moment you've been waiting for, Trucker John.
Testing. 1, 2, 3. Test. A test. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Let's see. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Testing. 1, 2, 3. All right. It looks like it's working. All right. We got the microphone plugged in and going. I am using world's tiniest microphone today, but I did order a new microphone. And according to the tracking, it's supposed to be delivered today. It might even be during this live stream. So I've got my the slats, the window blinds open, like all the way open, so I can see, because I can't check the tracking when I'm doing the show, but I will see the UPS delivery person, hopefully, unless they come from the other side and they don't ever cross this window. That could be a thing. But the last time, I know for the chair, I saw the lady, the woman, the UPS driver. I saw her through the window drop off the thing. That's because I hadn't been checking the tracking, and at first I was like, I didn't even think about it for some reason. I just saw this body, or actually I saw her take the picture. You know how they take a picture? I saw her step back and take a picture. But it didn't even register in my mind like that she took a picture. I was like, what is she doing? Or at first I'm like, I think I'm so paranoid. I'm like, did someone just post another eviction notice on my door or something? Even though that's not possible. And then I went and opened the door, and then the chair was there, and then the light bulb went off, and I'm like, oh, that was the UPS lady, and she was taking the picture. So anyhow, if the UPS delivery person walks from this side of the unit and drops off the package, then I will see it. If they come from the other side and then go back the other way, then I won't. And they don't knock. That lady didn't knock. They just drop it off at the door. Anyhow, might get a microphone, new microphone today. And what I did, instead of buying another one of these cheap $3.97 lavaliers, I went ahead and upgraded a little bit to what I hope is nicer. I hope it's nicer sound. I hope it's nicer quality. It's a little bit a bigger mic. I forget the brand name of it, and I also got a like a boom arm, a nice big boom arm, and that I can attach the mic to. Hopefully it'll work with my setup here. I don't know. Well, I'll find out, I guess. I think it also has a base if I just want to put it on a base and stand it up. I spent altogether that was $50. It was a $40 mic for the mic and the stand. It was $39.99. You know, and then with tax, I guess it was delivery fee. I thought I had free delivery, but that must be a delivery fee in there too. Anyhow, it came to $50 total. So again, thank you to the supporters of the show, all the people who donate through channel memberships, super chats, super stickers, PayPal, buy me a coffee. It's because of that we're able to do some upgrades to the show. And so now we've got what I hope is a good upgrade with this microphone. If it sounds like shit and crap and it doesn't work, then I guess I'll just send it back. But maybe we'll get it. I guess if I get it today, I don't know if I'll be able to. I guess we could try to hook it up today. But for sure, we'll have it for tomorrow. I think it's supposed to come today. So anyhow, thanks for being here, guys. It's 11:35 a.m. Pacific Time Zone, right here in beautiful Las Vegas. We are sitting at 94 degrees. It's supposed to only get to 98. It is cloudy. It's a bit. We've got some humidity. I can feel the stickiness. It kind of sprinkled a little bit yesterday where I'm at. I think it might have been heavier rain in some other areas. But there was a little bit of rain coming through. I know California got some rain. Palm Springs and Big Bear, all those areas got some rain. And then it came up here. And Where I'm at, I don't think we got any rain right here, but we did get a lot of overcast, a lot of clouds, and we're actually supposed to get rain tomorrow, a little bit of rain. So it's made the temperatures a little cooler, but it is a little stickier, a little more humid. But it is what it is. And we are seeing cooler temperatures on the way, as far as even when the rain goes away and the clouds go away. It looks like we have a whole couple weeks of double digits. We're under 100, so that'll be nice. Okay, looking at the chat, I see Paul Burrows was first. Says burning daylight at 3 a.m. It's 3 a.m. So Paul Burrows in here at 3 a.m. Sandy Folds is here. Hello, Sandy. Or was second in the chat, and Linavois was third. I believe otherwise just known as Lynn. I think I saw Lynn in Hal Sparks chat. Because someone named Lynn, I think, said hi to me. Bob LeBlanc is here. Good to see Bob LeBlanc, otherwise known as, and I know your AKA is, and I always forget your AKA. Fancy's here. Hey, Fancy, good to see you. Thanks for joining us in the driver's lounge today. Jolie's here. Hey, Jolie, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Thanks for doing those mod duties that are so vitally important. Michael McAndrews is here. Says ready and waiting and wanting and willing and whatever. Yeah, I was waiting for Hal. Hal went a little over, so I was waiting for him to finish up. Plus, I was eating breakfast also. Full disclosure, I was still eating my breakfast, which I cooked myself. I cooked up a cheese omelet with some hash browns and some bacon. I've been doing the bacon in the microwave thing, and I guess it's okay. I guess it comes out okay. I don't know. It's quick. It's a lot quicker. So, let's see here. Who else we got in here? Who else is hanging out with us today in the old driver's lounge? I'm just scroll down a little bit here. Anna Moore's here. Hey, Anna Moore, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. I do appreciate you. Now, I do have the microphone taped to the chopstick, and I just poked a hole because I have a shoebox. This is just high-tech studio here, state-of-the-art studio I have. I use a shoebox, and I put my iPad on top of the shoebox just so it brings it up a little. So I'm not looking down quite so much. I'm looking up a little bit. And then what I did today is I poked a hole in the shoebox and made my own little mic stand. You guys want to see it? Should I show it to you? Let's see here. Can you guys see? Look at there. State-of-the-art Trucker John studio. Live from the Trucker John Studios. All right. Anyhow, so that's what I'm dealing with today. But hopefully we'll get that new mic in, and I think I'm just going to have it on a boom arm. Probably on this side coming over this way. Maybe. I don't know. But today we've got this. Hopefully this little microphone is holding up. And then I'll have this mic as a backup. It'll be a good backup, Let's see here. Aaron West is here. Hey, Aaron. So now we are at full mod capacity. Thanks, Aaron, for being here. I do appreciate you. We got Aaron and Jolie. Deborah Murphy's here. Hey, Deborah. Hal raid. Oh, nice. Thanks for raiding over there from Hal. I hope you're still here. I know it took me a while to get in. Sometimes people come in and they get tired of waiting, so I hope you're still here. Michael McGadger says rapists must deploy their military. Folks, the occupation has begun. I mean, we've been seeing it. They've been experimenting with it in LA, and now they're in DC. Trump says now he's going to go to Chicago and Boston and other cities, and now they are arming the National Guard. They are going to be carrying weapons. They're going to be sending the military in. We're in an occupation. We are being occupied. Let's just call it what it is. It's a fucking occupation. Paul Burrows, he wants martial law. Yeah, we can't stand for this. We cannot allow this. So in that intro, we had some protesters. We need more and more and more and more protesters. But I mean, this reminds me of the early, stages of Gilead. This is Gilead. MJ Daniel says every cop in the USA should be insulted by this. DJT is saying they are not doing their jobs, yet they are silent. Yeah. He's saying they're not doing their job, so I got to call in National Guard and military. Yeah. MJ Daniel, yeah, from the Free State of Washington. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Thanks for coming on in. Chris Doug with the Hal Sparks raid. Thank you, Chris. Thanks for coming on in. I appreciate you coming over from Hal. Yeah, MJ Daniel says we the people need to be in the streets in the millions. I agree. Oh, no, let me forget. I was going to keep posting this every day, and I kind of forgot about the September 3rd. They're going to have a big press conference. Let's not let Epstein go away. Donald Trump would love nothing more than the Epstein issue just to go away, and we can't let it go away. Chris Doug says, I read 2 articles stating that bars and restaurants in D.C. are empty and no one is dining, especially at outdoor establishments. Wow, it's getting really windy outside, like a storm's coming through. I can see all the bushes and trees really moving in the wind. But yeah, I guess this proves that having a good economy doesn't really matter to Trump anyhow. He doesn't care about the economy. All he cares about is power. And this might be one of the things that brings him down. Because at some point, I got to think that at some point, these multimillionaires and billionaires that own companies and invest in companies, tax breaks be damned. I mean, they got to still care about profits, don't they? I mean, what would you rather have? A zero tax rate but all your businesses go bankrupt, or have really strong businesses, really strong profits and lots of activity, robust activity in all of the areas of our economy, and everything's bustling, and you're making money hand over fist with your businesses, but you pay taxes, you pay a fair tax. Would you rather have that, or would you have no taxes, but all your companies go bankrupt because no one can fucking afford anything, and there's no jobs because he cut all the jobs. He's destroyed everything, every facet of our economy. Donald Trump is destroying. I don't see how that is garnering him any support, even with the business industry and with the tycoons. These oligarchs, these U.S. oligarchs, need look no further than fucking Vladimir Putin and what he's did to those oligarchs, where he's basically shaking them down and telling them, you will only be successful because I allow you to be successful, and you're going to give me your money or a big chunk of your money, and if you don't, you're going to get tossed out a window, or you're going to get thrown into a prison cell for the rest of your life. That's what Donald Trump will do if he gets enough power. Michael McAndrews, I've never seen a president do more damage to our country. Me either, Michael. It's unprecedented. The amount of damage. I thought George W. Bush was bad, and he was. Don't get me wrong. George W. Bush was horrible and left office with us just a hair away from going into a Great Depression, and a hair from completely destroying our financial and our banking industries. Completely destroyed job creation, with Bush, when we were siphoning off. I just dropped my watch. We were losing over 300,000 jobs every single month for under Bush. I think for at least the last 6 months or 9 months of his presidency. And the job creation previous to that wasn't all that great. So, just looking for my watch. It's down there by my feet. I want to make sure I don't step on it. But yeah, Trump is making George W. Bush, look like freaking FDR at this point. Search for you is here. No Money G. Hey, No Money G. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Christina Weibel is here. Hey, Christina. Thanks for joining us here in the old driver's lounge. Mad Mac is here. Slava Ukraini to Mad Mac. Mad Mac says, "Get the fuck out of our cities." Talking about these occupying forces that we have. Kimchi here, the goddess Kimchi. Thank you very much for being here. Says, "Hit the like, beautiful people, and share." Speaking of that, we got 43 watching, 38 thumbs ups. Unfortunately, guys, I got bad news. We're operating right now like a bunch of Republicans. We're operating at a deficit. So we don't want that, do we? No. The answer is no. No, we don't need that. This darn watch is starting to give me a rash. I've been wearing it forever and ever. My daughter bought me that Apple Watch, I think 3 years ago. And I do have eczema, but I really haven't been getting it too much. This is kind of like eczema in a way. But it's caused from wearing the watch, because I guess my eczema can get triggered, I guess, or whatever, activated by sometimes just having stuff on my wearing stuff like that. But it hasn't been very bad until it seems like these last couple months. It's been really bothering me. And I'm trying not to itch it. The worst thing you can do, or scratch it, the worst thing you can do if you have eczema is to scratch it. Absolute worst thing. And yet I still find myself doing it because it feels so good until it doesn't. Until you've gone too far and you're like, oh my God, I've gone, and you've just made this raw, bloody mess of your wherever the eczema is at. No Money G, Trump's too busy building his ballroom and meeting with Pootie Pie to worry about groceries. Yeah, all that shit, man. It's such shit. Kim, she says something of shit. Now I'm worried. Oh shit, maybe. But yeah, this stupid and wasting the money. And the ballroom, he wants to spend what, 200 million or whatever it was. All this shit, but we can't have SNAP. We can't help feed kids. You know, we got to cut Medicaid. We can't have that. We can't have people getting health care. But we can spend 200 million on a fucking ballroom, and we can spend millions of dollars every single day on all this occupation bullshit, on ICE coming into cities, millions and millions of dollars every single day. It's just so warped and stupid. Anna Moore says in the intro, a point was brought up of the hypocrisy of the biased media with regards to Joe Biden's health compared to Trump. Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a couple of times that was brought up. Joe Biden, yeah, they're still talking about Joe Biden, and Joe Biden is no longer the president. They still will ignore Trump's whatever's going on with Trump, the swollen ankles, the swollen hand, the makeup on the hand, the puffy face, his eyes are just like slits. All that they completely ignore that, and they will still talk about Joe Biden and his health, which is fine if you're giving like a little health update, because we know that he's going through cancer treatment. Yeah, I wouldn't mind getting an update, but they don't talk about Trump at all. Not at all. That's that huge double standard, and we've been seeing it for years and years and years now. I guess we just got to keep pointing it out, keep exposing them. Christina Weibel says, release the Trumpstein files. Chris Doug says, democracy now, free and fair elections, no fucking kings. Absolutely. And there's the thumbs up. So I'm just now where the intro ended. That's where I'm at in the chat. Chris Doug, 14:30. So I'm about 24 minutes behind the latest post. And they're Jolie dropping a link for Fancy's Fighting Purse video. So check that out. I'm sure Fancy's got another great video there for you. Olga Martinez is here. Hey, Olga, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Thanks for joining us here. Michael McAndrews, how long will the mic last today? I don't know. I think, because like I said, I usually get about 3 hours out of this mic. And I think yesterday or Saturday, I guess it was, I think because I was kind of pressing it on and off and I was trying to tape it up to the stick and everything. And I think it might have shortened the battery life from with all the on and off stuff. So hopefully we'll get at least through the show here. And who knows, we might even have the new one by then. Chris Doug, $1.99 super chat. Thank you so much, Chris Doug. Yippee. Going out to you. Also, the thumbs up and the heart. I support free speech. Thank you so much, Chris. I appreciate you. We're 1/5 of the way on towards the goal for today's goal. So thank you so much. Paul Brills, shout out to old people who can't hear well. Mr. Spock is here. Live long and prosper. Mr. Spock says, I support bras. I think bras support are a support mechanism. Christina Weibel, MAGA or MAGA. Now I'm saying MAGA. Whatever. MAGA. Equal Make America Gavin again. Or is it Gavin? Michael McAndrews says modern living package cracking. Look out the window. Yeah, I got the window open. Search for you. Shout out to all the female UPS drivers. What about the dudes? All the young dudes carry the news. Do, 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 do. Michael McAndrews says we are all in trouble. Fancy has a new video out. Oh, okay. He was being a joke, telling a joke. Kimchi says TJ, a Ring camera is pretty cheap, refurbished. A Ring camera? Oh, for the front door? Yeah, well, I guess. Anamore, no, oh no, another knock at the door. Anyhow, the Ring camera won't do me any good right now for today's delivery, but yeah, it's a good thing to think about in the future, I guess. Kimchi, member for 17 months, 17 glorious months. Thank you, Kimchi. Yippee going out to Kimchi. Says, hit the like you hit the like your bratty brother. No, hit the like your bratty brother. Wait, I'll get this right. Hit the like your boy, I can't say it. Hit the like your bratty brother. I have to say it slowly. Thank you for being a member. I do appreciate you, Kimchi. 17 wonderful, glorious months. It's gone so fast, hasn't it? It's gone by so fast. And Amor says, I support free speech. Also, got Chris Doug, yippee for the super chat. Fancy has gifted 5 Trucker Drive memberships. Yippee till Fancy there. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I do appreciate it. It's another great way of supporting the show. Look at Brooklyn. SJU got one. And I haven't seen Brooklyn in forever. Maybe this will help bring her back. Just come in and say hi. Just check in with us. Let us know how she's doing. So hopefully that will do that. John from Las Vegas. I think my brother from another mother got one. So John got one. Golf Marine got one. Golf Marine. Notorious GRG got one. And Alvin Stube. So a lot of familiar faces. And thank you for that, Fancy. Thank you so much. And because a lot of those folks, I think, will actually put the membership to use by coming in and hanging out with us. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? David Dog, the big dog's here. Hey, David Dog, good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. David Weiss coming in from Denver, Colorado. Rocky Mountain High. Colorado. Search for you. Member for 5 months. Congratulations to all the new members. Thank you, Search for You, for being a member. Yippee, going out to Search for You. I do appreciate you. Appreciate your membership. Appreciate you coming in the chat and hanging out with us. Sonny Fulton says, I was first in the chat. Paul Burrows may have a issue with that. I don't know. He may have something to say about that, but it's okay. It's all good. It's all good. Bonnie Balcom's here. Hey, Bonnie, good to see you. Yeah, Jolie says, happy Truckiversary to Search for You. Happy Truckiversary to Kimchi. Happy Truckiversary to Search for You. It's a glorious day. It's a beautiful day. Your Truckiversary. It's right up there with your wedding anniversaries. What is 17 month? Is that paper? What is that? I don't know. Chris Doug says, welcome trolls to the troll algorithm. Do we have a troll in the house? Do we have a troll amongst us? I don't know. Maybe. You never know. You just never know. Kimchi says, sometimes a tiny mic needs a little lift. Yeah. Doing the best I can with what I got. So far, never had any complaints. Chris Doug says, did a brief 4.5 mile hike along the Hudson River this morning. Many ducks and geese. Look at there. Look at you with the ducks and the geese. Jolie, tape to a chopstick. I'm dying. Love you so much. Thank you, Jolie. Like I said, this is Trucker John Studio. State of the art. State of the art, man. Olga Martinez says, man, I love your mic stand, stick, boom, to get it done attitude. I have that at course, so should we all. If you see any of my old trucking videos, Jolie, remember that when I was in the truck and it was this duct tape and zip ties, man, all over the place, trying to alleviate the shaky cam. Because I used to go live, driving down the road. Mr. Spock, it's the Tiny Mike Show. Hi, I'm Tiny Mike. I should do a show with just the mic. Let the mic have his own show. Damon Dog, Kamala was right about everything. And I think Hillary too. And I think me. No. Roger Dodger here. Hey, Roger Dodger. Roger. Whenever I see your name, Roger Dodger, it always reminds me of like Star Wars, like the pre-trilogy, the clone, not clones, but the robot. What were those little robot guys called? Those robot soldier guys? And they would always go, Roger, 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 Roger. User PH9WT3UE7C, otherwise known as William, says we are going to have a Kent State thing happen. I know. That's what I'm worried about too. They've got National Guard carrying weapons, presumably loaded. Now I don't know. Are they going to shoot rubber bullets? Now the Kent State, supposedly those were rubber bullets, or maybe someone put real bullets, and I forget, because 5 people were killed, and I don't know, dozens of others that were shot. I forget if the people that died were if they were hit with rubber bullets or actual real bullets. But if it is rubber bullets, it just proves that rubber bullets are fatal. Also, they're not non-lethal. But yeah, you get the National Guard carrying weapons, and then you get I don't know, a guy throwing a sandwich at you, and who knows what's going to happen. And it's not right. We don't need to have, and this violates. This is unconstitutional. I mean, this is a clear violation of the Constitution. What Trump is doing, he needs to be impeached ASAP. He needs to be impeached right now, just for this alone. Let alone all the other shit he's done that he could be impeached for. But I believe this is impeachable because this is violating the Constitution. There's no fucking insurrection. There's nothing going on. He's making up shit. He's lying. He's manufacturing all this shit. We see, crime is down 30% in DC, and so he brings in the National Guard. There's no reason for it. There's no reason to go into Chicago. There's no reason to go to Boston. There's no reason to go to San Francisco. There's no reason to go to LA. There's no reason to go into New York. It's all bullshit. It's all horse shit. This is unconstitutional, and he needs to be impeached. Damon Dog says there's a veterans sit-in. There's a veterans sit-in at Union Station. Should I go? Thinking about going to D.C. for Labor Day weekend. I think you should. I mean, if it's up to you, but since you asked, Yeah, I think you should. And I think you should video it and post it. Let me know. Let us all know. I'll promote it, and let's see what's going on. Let's get a look. Let's get a look see, and let's be, great to be a part of the resistance. I guess we all are part of. We got to be part of the resistance now. Vive la résistance. Is that how they say it? Vive la résistance. Vive la résistance. Vive la résistance. I don't know. I'm not good at my French. I'm not good at French. Search for You says, I hope Kamala is calling every single one of these corporate assholes. I know I'm living in a fantasy world, but I mean, wouldn't it be nice if there's some way, like if we could prove, if it's proven in court, there's documented evidence and proof and everything else that the 2024 election was stolen, that it was rigged, and that Kamala Harris really did win. Because I know people say that there's nothing in the Constitution about blah, blah, blah. But if it's shown that Trump is not the rightful winner of the election, and that Kamala Harris was, there's got to be a way that he and Vance should be removed immediately, and Kamala Harris and Tim Walz should be installed. I mean, there's got to be. It just doesn't make any sense. Now they haven't proven anything. I mean, nothing has been proven yet. Maybe nothing ever will, but still, I still think about that. It's just if it could be shown, like I said, and proven in a court of law that it was all rigged, then there's got to be a way to flip this, man. Anna Moore says federalization of the National Guard is only allowed under special circumstances. We are not at war, so what's his excuse? The waste of taxpayer dollars is unconscionable. Yeah, it's such a waste of money that could be going elsewhere to worthy programs. And it is unconstitutional. This is a violation of was it posse comitatus, right? There is no insurrection going on. Just because people might not like you, President Trump, or may say things and have opposing viewpoints and point out what a fucking horrible person you are, and what a liar and a cheat and a felon and a rapist you are, that's not an insurrection. That's First Amendment, motherfucker. Mr. Spock says an award-winning movie called The Cook. The thief, his wife, and her lover was fascinating, very bizarre. The meal at the end is the best part, hilarious. I'm not sure if I ever heard of that. I did go see Nobody 2 last night. I went to the movies. I decided I didn't go to work. I don't know. I just haven't felt like working. And from what I've been told, it's been dead anyhow. But I went to the movies last night. I saw Nobody 2. And I liked it. If you like just a fight movie and shoot 'em up movie, then you'll like it. It was good choreography, good fighting choreography, and all that stuff. If you like Saul Goodman, who turns out to be a badass, then you'll like it. I guess Josh is here. Hey, Josh, good to see you. Good to see Josh C's. Oka Martinez says if one person, Musk, I guess, apparently, actually has 50% of the wealth of all of us, he should be taxed at that rate. 50% of all he gets every year is ours, the tax, at the minimum. Yeah, I would say at the minimum, yeah. Mr. Spock is apparently stoned. Aaron West says, I found my COVID vaccine card in the move. I haven't had a booster since 2022. I better hurry up before I can't get one. Yeah, that's a good idea. If I haven't been boosted since last year, it's probably been a year since I got my boost. I don't know. And I was thinking about that too. We should probably, if you want to get a booster shot, and if you're able to do it, you should probably do it now, because you never know what fucking RFK Jr. is going to do, and Trump and all that. As far as, well, he already wanted to make it where you can't get free boosters unless you're a baby or something like that, or toddler or something. Roxanne says, it looks like eczema. I have it too. I use a cream. I know I used to get the creams and all that stuff. I haven't got any of that in probably 30 years because it started going away. I mean, the breakouts, I kind of pretty much stopped, except for the occasional, once every few years, I would get a little breakout, like on my arm or something, and then it would just go away. So I haven't gotten, I used to have a prescription for that, all through at least the 80s and 90s. Because prior to that, I had eczema as a kid, but we didn't know what it was, and I thought because it was on my feet, so I thought I had like, jock itch or whatever they call it, or on your feet. Is that what they call it? And then I went to my mom finally took me to the doctor when I was in high school. I think I was high school age, and the doctor said I was allergic to leather. That's what he said. I was allergic to leather. And I wasn't wearing leather shoes all that much. I was wearing Nikes and tennis shoes, or maybe see, my football cleats. I guess were those leather, like Nike football cleats and shit. But anyhow, he said I was allergic to leather. It wasn't until I was actually about 30. I think I was about 30 years old when I finally had a doctor, a dermatologist through Kite. When I was working at the post office, and I had good health care, and my doctor referred me to the dermatologist, and the dermatologist took one look at it and said, "Oh, yeah, that's eczema." I was like, "What?" Because it was really bad. It was really breaking out bad, and I go, "Really?" I go, because I went to a doctor when I was like 16, and he told me it was because I was allergic to leather. And the dermatologist goes, "Well, you might be allergic to leather, but that's eczema." And I go, "Oh, okay." And so they started, prescribing me, those creams and stuff that have like a steroidal cream or whatever, and it worked pretty good. And then it seems like, by the time I got to my 50s, and into my 40s and stuff, it was, the breakouts were so few and far between that I stopped renewing the prescription, and literally it'd be one small little breakout, once every few years or something. So the point where I just kind of forgot that I even had eczema until sometimes it'll break out like this. But that's right where my watch goes. So stuff like that will kind of irritate the skin and bring out the eczema, I guess. And notice I'm pronouncing eczema correctly. It bugged me to no end when I remember it was like 10 or maybe 20 years ago. I don't know. There was a commercial they were running these commercials for some product for eczema, and the people in the ad they were saying like eczema or something like that. I've got eczema, and I'm like, no, you don't, motherfucker. If you had eczema, you know how to fucking pronounce it. They're going, I got eczema, And I think I even wrote to one of those companies one time, like an email, and I said, you know what? Why don't you hire people that know how to fucking pronounce eczema correctly? And you want to know what? I started noticing new ads coming out where they were actually saying it correctly. So don't tell me that sending letters to companies that they don't read them. They read that shit. Chris Doug says, Posse Comitatus, the United States military cannot be used to enforce civilian laws on U.S. soil. Trump is in violation of law. Right, and that's what I was saying. So absolutely. Absolutely, 100%. Josh C. says, I was driving at the end of Hal's show, so I couldn't type. I think we should call JD Jelly Donuts Vance. We might be calling him President Vance at the rate that Trump's going with his health. And I think that's actually scarier than just keeping Trump for the rest of the term, actually. Because I think we see the occupation going on now. I think with Vance, it'll be like on steroids. I think Vance will be worse than Trump. So we need to be careful what we wish for in terms of that, of Trump croaking or whatever. Mad Max says, yeah, I can't wear watches either. Metal band, fabric, plastic, or leather. I break out from my motorcycle gloves too, unless I can find some fake leather ones. So maybe you're allergic to leather. I don't know. Jolie says, buy a softer band for your Apple Watch. My daughter had to get a different band for hers. What do they make for Apple Watches? I have these plastic ones. I don't know. Do they have a different? I guess they have different types. Chris Doug says the National Guard can only be federalized when there is open rebellion and severe civil unrest, which there's not. There's not. Yeah, it's all whatever Trump says about that is all bullshit. But I will say to the people that are setting Waymo cars on fire, you're not helping the cause, really. Because what did they show nonstop on a 24/7 loop when the LA thing was going on? It was always that same goddamn Waymo car on fire. And then the rest of the world was like, oh my God, or the rest of the country, they're like, LA is on fire. When it was just one car on one street, and it was just some stupid assholes that did that. And that in no way was a severe civil unrest, But I'm just saying, you guys. Now I don't know who did that. That might have been someone, a saboteur that lit that car on fire. But we need to think, us protesters, if we're protesting, us the resistance and stuff, we need to think about how things look. That's why we got to keep it as peaceful as possible, I think. And I do have worries about like Major Ojeda with all his fight rhetoric, and it's one thing. I know we were talking about the word fight, yes, I guess Saturday or whatever. And I'm not talking about that really. I'm talking about like Ojeda he gets pretty violent in his rhetoric, and I think he needs to be really careful of that, Because the minute that something happens where some Republican gets punched in the face or worse, then they're going to start playing all these clips of Ojeda and others who are using that type of rhetoric and saying, see, these Democrats, they're ginning up the violence. They're ginning up the violence. And I mean, look what they did to like fucking Maxine Waters when she made something that was, I think, way less than what Ojeda says. And something happened. What was it that happened? And then they kept playing the Maxine Waters clip where she said something like, you gotta stand up. She was just saying, like, you gotta stand up for yourself. And if someone, if some MAGA says something, you gotta get in their face or something like that, or And then I don't know, something happened, and then they just put Maxine Waters on a loop. And so I think we got to be a little smarter about what we say. Not that I'm a good example of that, because sometimes I say some really stupid shit. But I'm not running for Congress either, Ojeda. I know you're a big military guy, and you're a big tough guy, and you don't take shit. That's fine, but I think, Major, I think you need to tone that shit down a little bit. Actually, a lot of you in the chat might disagree with me, but I think words do matter. And if you're talking about, like he said, I think I saw him on, was it his show or on the Crystal Ball show, where he said, like, if I ever run into Steve, I think it was Stephen Miller he was talking about. If I ever get face to face with that guy, I think he said I'm gonna punch him in the face or something like that. And I'm like, really? I mean, and you're trying to get elected to a House seat, and you're talking like that? I mean, I don't. That's just doesn't sit well with me. That doesn't. Yeah, I would love to punch Stephen Miller in the face, but I'm not running for fucking Congress. I don't think someone running for Congress should say that they want to punch, the White House advisor or whatever the fuck he is in the face. You just don't do that. I don't think there are other ways that you can express your displeasure with Stephen Miller without saying that the next time you see him, or if you ever come across him, you're going to punch him in the face. Because now if something happens to Stephen Miller, they're going to put that on the loop, and they're going to go, see, these Democrats are stoking up the violence. And they'll put that on 24/7 loop. And they will do it. The media will do it. They have a double standard. Ojeda could say something like that. Let's say something happens to Miller, they'll blame it on fucking Ojeda. Now, another dude could go to, what was it, Wisconsin or wherever the fuck, and he can murder two people. The one lady who was I think a state rep, murder her and her husband, and he goes and shoots two other people, and they fortunately survived, and you barely hear a peep. When's the last time you heard anything about that story? So the double standard is out there, and we should be aware of it. We do need to be. What the hell was that? I just heard a noise. It sounded like something fell over, but I'm going to check outside the door just in case. If my package was delivered, but it sounded to me like it was right here by my TV. But I'm going to check the door real quick just in case. Oh shit! Oh. My armrest. Oh shit! I guess I didn't tighten my armrest down good enough. That's what it was. But it says I'm gonna get up in here. All right, no package. My dang. I'll have to look for it later. You know what? I remember I was going to I was going to go back and retighten those bolts just to make sure, and I never did do it. And because I thought that these were a little loose, and I forgot to go back and give them once more. So anyhow, I'll do that later. All right, guys, where am I at in the chat? Let me move on down in the chat a little bit, because I know I'm like a half hour behind. Roxanne says, I like it when TJ sings David Bowie. All the Young Dudes was actually, wasn't that? I know that was a David Bowie produced song, I think. Am I thinking of the right thing? But I think that was actually, maybe that was Bowie. I don't know. Maybe I'm getting confused in my old age. Anyhow, Kim Shi, I guess I have to get you a gift for 2-year anniversary. What to gift a man who has all the mics? Josh C says, whatever happened to, I can't even say it, but I know who you're talking about. Persist. I could never say the name. Whatever. TJ used to love pronouncing that name. Yeah, I don't know what happened to that person, by the way. But that person used to come in a lot. You just never know. Hey, glad to see John Glad. John Glad is here. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Kimchi says, I see First Capacious and Shin late nights at Santana Speaks. Huh. So he doesn't come in here anymore. Well, Kimchi, if you see First Capacious, wasn't it M or something like that? Wasn't it First Capacious M or something? But yeah, if you see that person, tell him to come on by and say hi sometime over here. The old Trucker John live stream. It's the Trucker John live stream. Chris Doug says the House Oversight Committee has subpoenaed the Epstein estate. So we'll see what comes of that. Damon Dog, member for 9 months. Thank you, Damon Dog. Yippee! Going out to Damon Dog. And Damon says, yippee, 9 months and still accident free. There you go. Happy Truckiversary, Damon Dog. Soulcraft is here, lurking and listening. Listening and lurking. Thank you, Soulcraft, for hanging out with us. Kimchi, we need new gifts. 1 year dandelion, 2 years mushrooms. Come on, folks. We're at 3,950 some odd subscribers, trying to get to 4,000. And I will eat a dandelion as a celebration right on the live stream. I will do it. MJ Daniel says, and talking about who was right, I guess, like Kamala was right about everything. And then MJ's following that up with, and Hillary, and Malcolm Nance, and Michael Moore, and me, meaning MJ, I think, and many, many others were right about DJT. Jolie says, Trucker John, didn't you fix Shaky Cam with a cardboard coffee cup holder? Works great. Oh, yeah. What I did is, it was a whole thing. I had a window mount on there, and where it went kind of straight down, and then you would put the, and I tried to make it so that it would rest on the dashboard, like the camera, but it was still shaky. So what I did, I had those little cardboard, coffee cup sleeve things. Yeah, I had a bunch of those, and I just wedged it in between the bottom of the phone mount and the dashboard, and so it took all the play out of it, and it worked perfectly. It worked great. It really did. So there was no shaking. Yeah, that was the final solution, because before that I was trying like zip ties, and I was duct taping and stuff, and I was trying to get it so it would just be in there solid, But then when I wedged those coffee cup sleeves, or whatever you call them, I think it wasn't just one. I think it was like 4 or 5 of them, and I just like wedged it in there, and then it created such a like a tight fitting, and it worked great. Fancy says there's an active shooter at the University of Arkansas right now, so that's horrible. Not what we need. We never need that. Kimchi says, Fancy, I think all these college shootings are planned by the right wing. I don't know, but it's pretty horrible. I'm kind of skipping down, so if I skip over you or something, or don't see you, I apologize. MJ Daniel says, I think Penn State, they had live ammo, and 2 of the 4 killed were well over 100 yards from the protest and not even involved, if I remember right. Yeah, probably. With those rifles, they, go a long way. Yeah, Josh sees he, meaning Trump, is wasting money while fucking up the economy. When I was trying to say Viva la Resistance, Michelle says Viva la Resistance, and then Josh says, now I want a baguette. Oh. Yeah, Josh says there's no mechanism. I was talking about how, if it's proven that this 2024 election was stolen, it was rigged, that Kamala Harris was the rightful winner, Josh says there's no mechanism for that, or we would have had Al Gore. I guess the only mechanism is impeachment, and these goddamn Republicans won't do it. MJ Daniel says if Democrats can get the majority back, then they can investigate. If they do not, the U.S. is badly fucked. And no one wants to be badly fucked. Right? Am I right? The Soul Craft. I always think of the scene in Rogue One with stormtroopers' occupation of the streets of the Jeddah. Michelle, why is he violating Americans' rights? Because he is a dictator. He wants to be just like Putin or any of the other dictators around the world. That's what he wants. Kimchi don't want to be an American idiot. MJ Daniel, DJT and MAGA want a Tiananmen Square. They want an excuse to open fire. They do. Don't give them that excuse. Catherine Real Health Talk is here. Good to see you, Catherine. Thanks for coming on in. Catherine says, isn't there a law that allows for soldiers to defy orders from a crazy president? If so, why haven't they defied him yet? Well, the law, I believe, states that no one has to perform an illegal order. But I can understand. Okay, the president is sending some National Guard in. I don't think he's actually sent the actual like regular military in yet, has he? I think just National Guard. I think the real sort of moment of truth will come if they are ordered to fire on Americans. And I hate to think of it coming down to that, but because some will and some won't, I would think. I don't know. It's going to get fucked up. It's going to get hairy. And unfortunately, I think some people are going to get killed. I hate to be the, doom and gloomer here, but, and, I don't want to, there's a part of me that says, yeah, we need to go and we need to protest and hit the streets, but I don't want to be sending people to their deaths, we are being badly fucked. To quote, I think MJ Daniel. I don't know. Mr. Spock, how did TJ know I was stoned? I read it because I read it. I read what you wrote. MJ Daniel, kind of bored with that kind of movie right now. Talking about, I think Nobody 2. I like a good comedy or sci-fi. I am waiting for the third Dune, probably in a couple of years. But the thing about Nobody 2, the great thing about it, it was like an hour and a half or less. So it's kind of like wham bam, thank you, ma'am. You go in, you get your little fight on, shoot them up on, and then you're out of there. And the ticket, because I'm a senior, my ticket was only $5.50. So now, if it was a $20 ticket, then I would say I would pass. I'm like, oh, I'll just wait till it comes out on streaming, which is probably any day now. But for $5 or $5.50, I'm like, yeah, I could. I need to get out of the apartment for a while, Now, of course, I spent Ubering there and back was probably with tip and everything, over $20 because it was 7 something one way. I tip each driver $4, so 14 and 8, 22. It was actually over that. So probably just figure I probably spent $23-24 on Uber. I got something to eat there because I was hungry. I went to dinner. I spent another $20 on dinner, or 20 with tip $25, I guess. So my evening out with myself, just myself. What did that come to? What did I say I spent? I spent so I probably spent about. Oh, and then I got some popcorn and a Coke. So when I spent $50, $60, $70, I don't know what it was, but people go out to bars and drop that in a couple hours or whatever, or an hour. Man, the minute that AC goes off, it starts getting hot in here. Roxanne says my eczema is sporadic too. I never got it till I was in my 40s. Wow. Well, I had mine from when I was a kid, and again, mine was sporadic too, because I've known some kids or some people who have had kids or whatever, where they had eczema like all the time. And fortunately, mine was never that bad. Even at the worst, it was never like all the time. It was kind of sporadic. In fact, even when, I think it was probably the worst when I was a teenager and maybe in my 20s. But sometimes I would go a year without it, and so I would think, oh, I guess I don't have eczema, or I didn't know it was eczema at the time. I'd be like, oh, I guess I don't have that rash thing anymore, or I guess I cleared up that jock itch, or no, athlete's foot, not jock itch. I thought it was athlete's foot. I'm like, oh, I guess I cleared that athlete's foot up, because I would get that athlete's foot stuff that but then so it was pretty much like in my probably for my early teens. I don't know if I had it like when I was like 6 or 7, but I do remember like junior high and high school and throughout my 20s was the worst. And then it was when I was like 30, I finally got the diagnosis and got the creams and stuff. And then it started tapering off in my 40s and 50s. And then that it's sometimes to go 3 or 4 years without any type of a breakout. But then it comes back every now and then just to remind you that, yeah, motherfucker, I'm still here. I didn't go nowhere. You ain't done with me yet. You know? MJ Daniels says every cop in the U.S. should be very insulted by what these are doing. Yeah, didn't I read that already? Is doing, but many are probably happy to be part of all the insanity. U.S. law enforcement has a serious white national problem. It does, and that's the thing. All it takes is one cop to start shooting, and you'll have total pandemonium, and who knows how many dead bodies on the ground, You guys are talking about Zima. I remember drinking Zima like when it first came out, and I kind of like, oh, this is kind of good. But then after a while, it was like, ugh, Can't really drink too many of those. I guess they don't make them anymore, but I was good for like maybe drinking like one of those, and that was it. Then I have to switch back to beer. Kimchi says, I don't listen to Ojeda because I refuse to be yelled at like I'm a child in boot camp. I know I watch Ojeda, and I like the Major, and I think if I lived in his district or whatever, I would vote for him. But I kind of do the same thing. I'm always like, I'm watching the TV, and I'm like, why are you yelling? Now I understand these are important times, and they deserve emphasis or emphasis, and it does deserve kind of a hair on fire response. So, but I have a feeling that Ojeda just yells like that all the time, no matter what. Anyhow, that's just his nature, and that's his military coming in. That's his military leadership, but that's what they do. And like you said, Kimchi's like, I'm not in boot camp. I don't need to be treated like that, and so I get that. And so I guess I kind of get both sides. That's his nature. That's his mentality. That's what he's used to doing. But I do find myself as I'm watching him, I'm going, why are you always yelling, man? But that's it's a combination. That's his, his personality, but also this is a hair on fire moment, and maybe I'm not being excited enough or upset enough, or I don't look upset enough. Maybe I should be a little more like Ojeda. I don't know. I don't want to yell at everybody. Sometimes I do yell at some people, but I think that's his way of also, besides it being just his personality, I think it's also his way of saying, like, look, this is important. This is the hair on fire moment. We need to get activated. We need to get up out of our seats and into the streets, type of a deal. We need to vote. We need to contact our Congress people. We need to do all this stuff. So I understand it, but it can get a little I don't know, old or something. Bob Perez is here. Robert Perez from San Diego Way. Good to see you, Robert. Thanks for coming into the chat. And Robert says, howdy, Trucker John, and all the lovely Democratic voters. I just got back from donating my plasma for gas money. Wow. Well, I hope you got enough for the gas money. MJ Daniel, maybe work on getting a Democratic majority so we can send these fuckers to prison where they belong instead. Absolutely. Hear, hear. I agree. We need to get majorities. Get the majorities back. David Dog, it's that fucking haunted table. Yeah, no, it's just I forgot to tighten this one down better. And I think as I'm sitting here, I'm kind of like wiggling in my chair. I'm kind of like, I got the restless leg syndrome going, and I think it kind of vibrated on the armrest. Yeah, Michael says it sounded like a pin. It was actually this washer, because the little bolt came loose, and then the washer fell out. Chris Doug, Gabby Giffords was shot in the head by a right-wing lunatic after Sarah Palin targeted Democrats. Yep. And you didn't hear much of an outcry from the right-wing media. MJD knows. So that's where that extra bolt went. Catherine Real Health Talk says red team will say absolutely anything and it's okay, but Democratic Party can't say crap because it antagonizes folks. Really? Democratic Party not saying shit is part of the problem. I'm not saying they can't say shit. I'm just saying I don't think you should say, the next time I see Stephen Miller, I'm going to punch him in the face. That's what I'm saying. I mean, you don't see a difference between saying that and how about Stephen Miller is a self-hating Jewish Nazi? I mean, you can say that, but I don't think he should say, yeah, I'm going to punch this motherfucker in the face. And if you can't see the difference, then I don't know what to tell you. Kim, she's going shopping. Good luck. I hope you brought a wheelbarrow full of money, because apparently the prices are going up. Roger Dodger says the new COVID booster is not out yet. So when it does come out, and if you are so inclined to want to get one, you should probably get it, because you never know how long it's going to last, and what kind of hurdles are going to make you jump through to get it. So if you have the opportunity to get one, I would recommend you get it. Roxanne says all the young dudes was David Bowie. Yeah, I guess it was. I thought it was. I thought it was another band that he produced, that he was a producer of. Mata Hoople. Yeah, that's it, MJ. Mata Hoople. Written by Bowie, and I think he may have produced it. Because it does sound like Bowie, you know? Roxanne79 says, I love David Bowie. I never heard of Mata Hoople. I've only heard Bowie perform it. Well, the one that was the big hit on the radio was Mata Hoople. Michael McAndrews, $2 super sticker or super chat. Hey, Michael, yippee, going out to you. Thank you so much. I do appreciate you. So you get a thumbs up and the heart. Oh, there, the heart. There you go. Wait, I'm trying. There it goes. For dandelion sauce. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate it. Hopefully we'll get to 4,000 someday while there's still an America to dance to dance in. Chris Doug says Mott the Hoople, fronted by the great Ian Hunter, were about to break up until Bowie convinced them to stay together and produced all the young dudes for them in '72. The Fancy Factory, Fancy says, I'm hoarding Frank's wing sauce. If there's a shortages, you know why, laughing out loud. Richard from Down Under, the expat from Down Under, is here, and Richard says Trump has no business sitting in the National Guard. He is doing what a dictator would do. Exactly. He's acting just like the dictator that he wants so badly to be. Mr. Spock, when did I write I was stoned? Well, it was way back up in the chat there. I don't know if you can get back. You probably can't scroll that. It probably won't let you scroll all the way back, but it was there. It was there. Hey, Walter Makarovich is here. Good to see you, Walter. Haven't seen you in a while. Thanks for coming on in and hanging out with us. Walter says, good afternoon, Trucker John. I'm sorry to disagree with you, but I'm on Ojeta's side. We are fighting now for the democracy of the United States. We have no other choice. No more nice guy. No, I get all of that. I understand all of that. But I think there's a line. I don't think you say you're going to punch somebody. That's what I'm saying. You can be, you can use some, I don't know, some harsh words and stuff like that. But there's got to be a line somewhere. There's got to be a line. You don't threaten violence. Okay? You just don't. Especially if you're running for office. You don't threaten violence. Having said that, I hope he wins. I want Democrats to win. I want all the Democrats to win. I want us to get majorities and all that kind of stuff. But I don't think at this point you don't threaten violence against other people. Violence begets violence. Just skipping down here in the chat. Walter Berkovich says, I most recently had a discussion with a college-educated Trump supporter telling me all Epstein photos are fake. It was unbelievable. at this point, it really shouldn't be unbelievable because that's what they say about everything. They say that E. Jean Carroll is a liar, and the evidence against him was fake. Everything that they do, everything that comes out against Trump, they will say it's fake news. They've been saying this for 10 years now. Kevin Anderson is here. Well, Walter says it's either yell or we won't have a democracy we all grew up in. I'm not really commenting too much about the yelling, although like I said, I do sit there and go, why are you yelling? And I even said, if you listen to me, that I understand this is a hair on fire moment, and this is so I can understand the yelling, even though sometimes I'm like, why are you yelling? But so I understand that. I just don't know if you're hearing me. Maybe I should start yelling because I get the feeling that you're not hearing me, or you're only hearing part of what I'm saying. So maybe if you want, I can start yelling. I can do that shit too. I can yell just as loud as the next guy. And Kevin Anderson says, Trucker John, in the military, calling one a jackaloon was the equivalent of an asshole. Okay. Thanks. Thanks for that update. Richard shouted from the rooftops. Shout, shout, shout at the devil. Roxanne says gas was $3.19 at Wawa today and $2.84 at Citgo. A mile away, still cheaper at BJ's. It's like $1.66. Richard watching from Australia at 5:50 a.m. Bright and early over there for Richard. Roxanne says, Richard, hey, hon, good to see you. What part of Australia? Richard says, Gold Coast, Queensland, Australia. Walter McCarver says, can you imagine locking Ojeda up in that State House chambers saying you can't leave? I would buy a ticket to see that. Okay, all right, let's turn it into a WWE event or something. Pay-per-view. Catherine Real Health Talk says, TJ, you're right. What I'm saying is that the Democratic Party hasn't said much of anything. Way overdue. They only just started to say some stuff recently, and only a few have said stuff at that. I've heard Gavin Newsom say a lot of stuff. I've heard J.B. Pritzker say a lot of stuff. I hear AOC say a lot of stuff. I hear Bernie Sanders say a lot of stuff. I hear Jasmine Crockett say a lot of stuff. I've heard Maxwell Frost say a lot of stuff. I've heard Wes Moore say a lot of stuff. I've heard a lot of the Texas state representatives saying a lot of stuff. I've heard even Catherine Hochul say a lot of stuff. I don't know. I guess we listen to what we want to listen to. PDG 200 LBFB says Ojeda is not talking to you, but the right-wing hillbillies. He needs votes, people. Yeah, he needs votes. I guess is that what the people where he's running is that what's going to get him votes? Is threatening violence? I mean, I don't know. I know that they're probably pro, their version of Second Amendment. They want so Ojeda can emphasize the fact that he has guns in his house. He's a gun owner. That's how you get votes, I guess, in those type of places. I don't know about saying you're going to punch people in the face. It gets it or not. Catherine says the Democratic Party has been too passive for decades. That's the problem. John Deff, Mott the Hoople. Yep, it was Mott the Hoople. Sandy Foltz is back. Josh sees Ojeda has anger issues for all the right reasons, kind of like the opposite of Bondi, who has anger issues for all the wrong reasons. If you want to know the truth, can you guys handle the truth? When I watch Ojeda, I do think of an unstable person who has been shell-shocked and took too many blows to the head. Having said that, I would still vote for him. But there's something not right with the guy. I know you guys don't want to hear that because, we want him to win. We want Democrats to win. But he's not altogether there. He has issues. You could just watch him. You see he's got fucking issues going on, man. Like mental issues. Brought on by his injuries, I think, in war. That dude's probably, who knows how many hundreds of people that dude has killed, man. It takes an effect on you and all the injuries. He's been injured so many times. So I'm not, I'm just giving you my truth, how I see things. If you guys can't handle it, I'm sorry. Josh sees is right. Don't threaten violence. Damon Dog, I never threaten violence. If violence occurs, it will not be announced beforehand. Chris Doug, a patriot must always be ready to defend his country against his government. Edward Abbey. Jolie, don't yell at us, John. This is praying and crying and crying and laughing to tears. I think that's what that is. Roxanne please don't yell at us, TJ. I appreciate your happy disposition. David, shout, let it all out. These are the things I can live without. I can't live without. Come on. I'm talking to you. Come on. Come on. Tears for Fears, they were just in Vegas not too long ago. I wish I would have seen them. They'll come back, though. They always come back. And Jay Daniels still pissed that the Democratic Party was so quiet on their accomplishments before the election. They did many good things nobody knew about. Did they not say anything? Or did the media just not cover it? It seems like the media, Donald Trump could fart his way through a press conference and it'll get covered on every outlet for the whole day over and over again. A Democrat can hold a press conference talking about how good the economy is and it doesn't get any play. I blame the media more than anything. Oh, Cass Holmes is here. Good to see you. Thanks for coming on in. Cass Holmes says, "I've been a silent watcher, and you're silent no more." Thank you for coming in and saying hi. I do appreciate you doing that. And Cass Holmes, can I gripe a little? Yeah, hell yeah, you can gripe. Come on in and gripe. You're probably gonna gripe at me for going against Ojeda. Cass Holmes says, "My loser baby daddy is trash." Well, I didn't see that coming. By the way, Walter Bukarovich says, "I am sorry, Trucker John. I didn't clarify. It was in response to Texas Chambers not letting that woman congressperson leave." Oh, that was fucked up. And I wish more Democrats would have done the same thing. Apparently, they did after the fact. A few of them did. Christina Weibel, Ojeda has been a congressman in his past. He knows how Congress works. Yeah, he was a state House member, not a U.S. federal, not a U.S. House of Representatives. He was a state like assemblyman or whatever, which is fine. I know he knows how Congress works. I never said he didn't. I don't believe I ever said that he doesn't know how things work or how Congress works. Cass Holmes, I'm tired of always being put last. That's all. Thanks for listening to my rant. Well, you're quite welcome, Cass. Catherine Real Health Talk, nobody on the blue team with any sense would advocate for violence. The issue is that the red team loves violence. The blue team has not really started to say very much until recently. Meaning, and then we're supposed to whatever, I don't know, like to be continued, I guess. I don't know. Red team, blue team, all that stuff. Yeah. Cass Holmes, I like truth. I like truth. The truth shall set you free. Chris Doug says you can't handle the truth. Chris Doug says Trump is the loony bin. Yeah, that's true. He is loony. Roxanne, I like Ojeda's passion. Yeah. Christina Weibel, we all have issues. Okay. Cass Holmes, also, has anyone else been unsubscribed from channels? I'm over YouTube sometimes. I don't know, Cass. I do notice that my amount of subscribers that I have on this channel will go up and down, kind of, and I'm always like, how did I get less? And I do know that sometimes I piss people off, so they are subscribers, so that does happen occasionally. But sometimes it's like, wow, how did I just lose like 5 subscribers or something? So I don't know, Cass. I don't know what to tell you. I don't know how it works. Ninja Daniels talking about Ojeda. He is a Marine. Ojeda's not a Marine. He's Army. So MJ says he is a Marine. I have known the type needs to control the temper a bit more. He's Army. He's not Marine. I'm pretty sure he was Army. He wasn't a jarhead. He looks like a jarhead, but Catherine Rose says, after 2024 elections and not much for decades before, that's why we are here now. Democratic Party has been too passive for a long time, and signs of danger from Congress have been ignored. Okay, so Democratic Party has been too passive. I'm trying to think what they could have done that would not be passive. Like I don't know. I don't even understand that. There might be some tactfulness or lack of tactfulness, or there might be everyone makes mistakes in their strategies. Lack, of being too passive. I don't know. I don't agree. Chris Doug, I want Ojeda elected so he can get in the Republicans' faces and scare the shit out of them. Fuck MAGA. I want Ojeda to get elected so that we have the numbers that we need to pass laws. That's what I want him for. Cass Holmes, also today is my birthday. Laughing out loud. Well, happy birthday, Cass. Happy birthday. As best as you can. I don't know if you're going through some rough times or bad times, but today's your day, so happy birthday to you. Chris Doug, we need a psycho dim to rattle the Republicans. No. We need votes. We need majority numbers. And for that would be good enough reason for me to vote for him or even send money to his campaign so that we get one more vote. That's really all it comes down to. This whole fucking macho thing of punching people in the face and locking the doors and telling them they can't leave and all that. No, we need votes. We need the numbers. So as far as I'm concerned, Ojeda is just a number. That's all he is. I need his vote. I need that number in the House of Representatives. That's all I see him as. Jolie says Major was in the Army, not Marines. Yep. Jolie, back me up on that one. Mr. Spock says if there was something wrong mentally with the Major, he wouldn't be able to do the things he does. He speaks the truth logically with passion. He's just fed up with the BS, and it shows. Yeah. Yeah. I think he's going too far. Just like I think, here's another one. You guys watched the IHIP ladies? I think they're over the line. I think they've gone over the line with their name calling. It just gives the other side ammo. We're giving them the ammo by going to all this name calling. And you can say we're being too passive and that Michelle Obama was stupid for saying when they go low, we go high. You can keep doing that. But all this excessive name calling, McTaco tit, ankle, cankle, McTaco tits, and all that shit, and going off on those tangents, I understand it feels good to some extent to be able to unload that because we're all frustrated. We are all angry. We all know that Donald Trump has no business being in the fucking White House. He should be in the fucking prison house. Whoops. I just hit the mic. We all know that, and we're angry and we're upset. I get it. But going on live streams and just ranting and raving and just going on with McTaco and Cankle Tit Boy and all that shit for 5 or 10 minutes, it just gives them ammo. You're giving them the fucking ammo. Let's not give them any more than they need. You guys love IHIP. You can love IHIP all you fucking want. It's a free country. You can love Ojeda all you fucking want. It's a free country. I already said I'd vote for him if I was in his district. And I hope he wins. But I don't think this is showing. I don't think this is the opposite of passiveness. I don't think going off, threatening violence, or just doing this whole thing of this name calling is the opposite of not being passive. You know what I mean? I guess the opposite of not being passive would be aggressive. Is it passive aggressiveness? I don't know, but I think maybe we're overcompensating for something. Maybe we have been passive for so long, and now we're overcompensating. But I bring up these other people because I watch them too. I watch IHIP. I watch Ojeda. I watch all this shit. And I'm just telling you when I watch them, what I think. I think Ojeda's gone too far over the line, and I think IHIP has gone over the line. You know, no one's as cool as me. Jolie says Trucker John has channel memberships and super chats. Yes, I do. Starting at $1.99 a month. So a lot of bang for your buck there. You can also like, subscribe, and share the show, which is absolutely free. Doesn't cost you a dime. Or you can go to Buy Me a Coffee right there, or to PayPal if you want to help the show. Christina Weibel says, John, I was responding to someone else, not you. Okay. Gee, Christina. Okay. Sorry. That's what happens when I'm behind the chat or whatever. So I hope all's good. I hope we're all good. Are we good? Are we good? I hope we're good. Catherine Real Hot Talk, Democratic Party needs to brag and point out the reality of Republicans and their behavior. I think they do. I know Tara Devlin says there should be a daily Democratic spokesperson, comes out daily with stuff. Unfortunately, I see a fight with the Democratic Party. It's like, I want that microphone. No, I'm getting that microphone. No, goddammit, I want that microphone. They would have to set up a system, maybe, because everyone would want a shot at that microphone, which is a good thing, I think, if they think it would be that beneficial. But Susie Jones says, hi, y'all. Something about pass. I've got to go to the store, but I'm not that into it. I'll be broke with groceries for a week. Laughing aloud. Yeah. Grocery price is crazy. Going crazy. Mr. Spock says, look what they maybe did with the big balls thing, used it as an excuse to take over DC. Why give them a reason? If you protest, they raise the false flag thing. Sappers are Marines. Everyone let sappers clear the way. MJ Daniel, was he Army? Love the fire, though. He should tutor Chuck Schumer on doing that. Well, go watch his show. He's got Army shit all over the place. MJ Daniel, how fast would Holly run from Ojeda? On his little tippy toes. Ding, 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 ding. Chris Tuck, we need a supermajority. Absolutely. So I look at Ojeda as, I want him in there because I want that number to be on our side of the ledger. That's the main thing, is the numbers game. That's the main thing. Getting the majorities should be our number one objective. And like Hal says, turn red to purple and purple to blue. Roger Dodger says far more troubling that Hakeem and Chuck have no juice at all than Ojeda having a healthy dose of it. Oh, I am over 2 hours. Walter McCarver says, Trucker John, did you know that there are over 6.3 million registered Democrats in Texas and only 6 million Republicans registered, yet the majority rules they're not right? I know. I absolutely know that's not right. And we absolutely know that's because of extreme gerrymandering. Packing and cracking. Christina Weibel, I just call him Dinky. MJ Daniel, follow the example of Governor Newsom. That is the kind of thing that really gets to the Republicans. Yeah, I think Newsom has sort of cracked the code. Roxanne says IHIP are winning. They are getting under the skin, fighting fire with fire. They are worse than bad guys that deserve the ridicule and embarrassment. It damages ego, and that's all I care about. I'm gonna insert an I in there. That's all I care about. Yeah. I guess it's like the first time I guess I just started watching them, and the first time I heard whatever that one lady's name is, who likes to make fun of people for their appearance and for their plastic surgeries, she doesn't look that great. She looks like she's had work done, And the other one, she's got these flabby arms that she's always flabbing around. Now, look, I'm no physical specimen myself, but I really try to make a point where I don't go around commenting on other people's looks all that much, other than Trump, because he deserves it, because that's what he does to other people. But these two, they're always doing that, and I don't think they have much room to talk personally. And I've watched like 2 or 3 of their recent videos, and it's just the same thing over and over again. This taco tit cankles and all that shit, and I'm like, could you at least get some new material? Could you trot out some new material? Maybe is that asking too much? Can you mix it up a little bit, or is that all you got? Is that all you got? McCankle's taco tits? Is that all you got? Maybe think of something new. Maybe get original. Maybe I don't know. Egal Twitler, 191 Republicans out of 218, 87% in the House were elected in gerrymandered districts. 75 Democrats of 213, 35% in the House were elected or in gerrymandered districts. Who has the bandwidth for this? House Republicans put up a bill to ban gerrymandering. Every single Democrat voted for it. Every single Republican voted against it. That should tell you about everything you need to know about that. Christina Weibel, I totally respect your realness, John. Thank you, Christina. Realness to sometimes my own detriment. Fancy Factory, I'm glad he is fighting back, Alvin. Hey, Gulf Twiddler, who is capped out? I don't know what that even means. Chris Doug, Texas is a gerrymandered disaster. There are more Democrats in Texas than Republicans. Then Republicans test that they are a red state. I think that's a bit of a typo in there. In Texas, then Republicans, or whatever. We know what you mean. I know what you mean. David Windler, who's in charge of National Guard in no emergency? The state governors. Each state has National Guard. Damon Dog, I ate at Taco Bell today, had a steak burrito. I do not like their hard-ass chairs. Thank you very much. Damon Dog, thank you very much. Chris Doug says, mocking a sociopath and narcissist like Trump is fair game open season. Call him a wambulance if his feelings are hurt. Bitch. I don't mind mocking Trump at all. I think what Newsom is doing is great, and I have no problem mocking that motherfucker at all. I just don't think, let's say I was running for the House of Representatives here in Nevada, and I was going on shows, and I was saying like, man, the next time if I get there and I see Stephen Miller, I'm gonna punch him in the fucking face. I just don't think that would be a wise strategy. I don't think that would be a wise thing for me to say. I really don't. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe that would get me the violent vote. I don't know. I guess you got to weigh these things out. Maybe he's got internal polling that says that people in his district, they love that rhetoric. They love the violence. Maybe that, or maybe not. Maybe it's just him and that's what's coming out. But whatever. That's his campaign to win or lose. So I just want him to win because we need the fucking numbers. We don't need Republicans really in any office, in any place, anytime. We need Democrats. And, you know, even a mentally unstable, violent Richard Ojeda is better than any fucking Republican. So there's that. Darkly Yours is here. It says, hi, trucklers. Hope all is shway. I don't know. Thanks, Darkly Yours, for being here. I do appreciate you. Roxanne79 says, I haven't eaten at Taco Bell in recent years. I don't even know where there is one around here. Now I wonder if we even have one. I recommend the Crunch. What's that one Crunch taco thing they have? And wash it down with a Mountain Dew Baja or something. Susie Jones says, I love Christina Talks T. She's elegant but visceral in her takedowns. I'm just saying, I think they're pretty hypocritical. When they start talking about other people's appearance, I just saw someone walk by. I don't think that was my thing, but I'm going to look anyhow. I'm going to look real quick to see if my microphone's here. No, false alarm. No. Nope. No microphone. What was I talking about? Oh, I was talking about iHip. Okay, I'll leave that. I've already, lost enough viewers on that one probably. David Dog says, to be fair, Stephen Miller has a very punchable face. Hey, I would love nothing more. I would love to take a shot at him. But I'm just saying, if I was running for office, I would not say that. Doug Lior says apparently the frog people on the internet like Newsom a lot, oddly enough. Now, by frog people, are you talking about the, what was it? They used to say, Jenna's got your 6 and 26. Yeah. Didn't one of the ladies on 21st Century Suffragettes make that up? I think. Can you guys still hear me? Let's see. Yeah, Mike. I still got the green light on the mic. Roxanne79 says, I hope Gavin really told Donnie Jr. How's it feel to have my sloppy seconds? How does my dick taste? I hope he really said that to him. Yeah, me too. I hope he said it too. Dr. Liors, I tried Mountain Dew Midnight Freeze at Taco Bell. To my surprise, my almost 90 grandma liked it a lot. Midnight Freeze. Foreigner needs to do an ad campaign with that. You know, and change the words around a little bit. Josh C. says Argetta was wrong last night when he said he thought nobody with a modified education program in high school should be allowed to have a gun. Nobody with a, I don't know what a modified education program is. That's how stupid I am. I don't even know what that means. Modified education program. If they have that, they should not be allowed to have a gun. That doesn't, I don't even know what that means. Chris Doug, oops, just hit the like. If you haven't, please do. We got 50 watching, 59 thumbs ups. Thank you very much for watching and liking. Hope you hit that subscribe button. If you want to see a person eat a dandelion, translation is unstable due to weak network connection. I don't know why. Hopefully we're not buffering. But if you want to see that person, me, eat a dandelion, we need to get to 4,000 subscribers. So in any way that you guys can help get that number up, that would be great. That would be great. Paul J's here. Hey, Paul, good to see you. Was cracking. Yeah, Nick Rich, Spiken first used it. Yeah, I think it was, yeah, that's who I was talking about. Say it in the chat and repeated it. I don't mind. I think you meant Spy again or whatever. I don't mind credit to her, but I said, Jenna got your 6 and 26. She said 2026. Well, okay, Susie, I'm gonna credit you. Since you come in here, Spiken never even comes in here. So I'm going to give that one to Susie. There you go. Got your 6 and 26. It's quotations. Got your 6 and 26 quotation dash Susie Jones. There we go. Egolf Twitler says, if Haitian migrants were not eating the Epstein files, they would be crafting them into cloaks of invisibility to wear to hide from Trump's federal government. ICE would never find them. I get that whole thing. Because the Epstein files apparently are hidden. Or you can't find them or something. Or they're not being... Chris Doug, 6 means I'm behind you, protecting your ass. Yeah, it's like a clock. When you say, bogey's at 3 o'clock, or whatever, then that would be like to your right. 12 o'clock would be straight ahead, 6 o'clock would be behind you. 9 o'clock is over there. Hey, I watch Army movies. Michael says there's some buffering. That's weird that we're getting a transmission thing, and I've got the fucking modem right here next to me. All right, guys, I've probably done enough damage. I've probably pissed off enough people. It just isn't. It just wouldn't be a Trucker John show if I don't piss off a few of my loyal subscribers and watchers of the show, and it just wouldn't be a Trucker John if I made someone so angry that they would just unsubscribe and never come back. So, which I think I've done that today. I don't know. It does look like it's buffering on my iPad, by the way, for some odd reason. I just know why. It's doing that. It shouldn't be doing that. Chris Duck says Powerball is $750 million tonight. Ooh, the damage I could do with just 1/10 of that. I know. Me too. Unfortunately, they don't sell Powerball in Nevada. Go figure. I have to drive about 50 miles down to the state line. They used to have a store. It might not even be there anymore. It was right just past the California state line. They had a store open just for that, so people would go and buy lottery tickets in California. I'm not even sure if it's still open though. So, and I don't have a car anyhow. So. David Wheeler, John, yes, we're pissed. Well, I hope you come back no matter what. Even if you are pissed. Roxanne says, is it buffering or is TJ pausing? I'm not pausing. I think it is buffering. I don't know why. I don't know. So I guess we should end the show before it just completely goes kaput. So anyhow, if you're pissed at me, I hope you still come back. If you're pissed, I think we're all pissed. We're just generally pissed off, because we know that Trump, we know in our hearts who really should be the president right now, and it should be Kamala Harris. We're pissed that wrecking our country. Someone just walked by again. I don't think it was the UPS person, but I'm going to check anyhow. I'm going to check real quick, okay? It is really windy out, yeah. By the way. Does that have something to do with buffering? Nope, another false alarm. But yeah, before I go, someone wants to say hi. Yeah, I've been. Oh man, I'm out of breath. I've been walking out. I've been trying to find the UPS guy. So far, no show. I've been no show for the UPS. I've been looking. I want to make sure we get that microphone for Trucker John. Yeah, it's windy. I blew my hat off. Look at there. I don't even have a hat on. Well, I never have a hat. What am I talking about? But yeah, I almost blew my bow tie off. No visual. I got no visual on the UPS person. So, but yeah. Anyhow, thanks for being here, guys. I appreciate you. And yeah, if the delivery's made, I'll let you know somehow. I don't know. I don't have an account, so, but hopefully that microphone will come in, and that'll be cool. That'll be real cool. Have maybe some better sound quality in the old show. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. And yeah, I gotta go back. You know what I mean? And I don't mean bitch in a bad way. I didn't mean that in a misogynistic way. I meant that in like the cool hip way. You know how the kids say bitch or biatch. You know how the kids say it. That's what I meant. I better get out of here before I get in trouble. Boy, all of us, we're all getting in trouble today, I think, right? Yeah. Yeah, watch yourself there, tough cookie. You watch yourself. I heard that B word. But yeah, let us know when the UPS, let us know. Yeah, just let us know. You stay out there where you belong. Yeah, anyhow, guys, all right. On behalf of Trucker John, I'd just like to say thanks, everyone, for being here. You guys are awesome. Thanks for looking out. And by the way, I just want to say I don't share Trucker John views on the major. I think he's awesome. And as far as I'm concerned, he can bust as much ass as he wants, if you know what I mean. So, I'm Team Ojeda. I'm totally Team Ojeda. And just also a reminder here, everyone, please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. You should see Trucker John. He's walking around the house, around the apartment, just going, "When will I get the 4,000? When will I do it? When will I do it?" He's just like, he's insufferable. Like, it's just, I don't even want to be around him anymore. He's just like, "When am I going to get the 4,000?" I'm like, "Dude, relax. It's not that. It's just a little channel, you know. Who cares?" And he's like, "But I want 4,000." So anyhow, if you guys could help him out, that'd be great, because he's just a wreck about the whole thing. But anyhow, guys, thanks for being here. I do appreciate you. One more thank you going out to you guys. Thank you so much. All righty. I'll see you next time. All right, there you go. Paul the Purple Bearded Guy, tough cookie. Thanks. Be on the lookout. Let me know if the UPS guy shows up. He's out there in the bushes. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Anyhow, all right, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Tomorrow's Tuesday, so we will be doing a 9 a.m. Pacific time show. It's basically the time slot that a lot of us are used to being at, watching stuff at 9 a.m. So if you guys are up at 9 a.m. Pacific time, give old Trucker John a shot. And you just never know what he's going to say. Wait, why am I going third person? You just never know what I'm going to say. I might, just really piss you off. I don't know. If you like being pissed off and not pissed on, come on back. All right, guys, you guys are awesome. So that's it. Just a reminder, Liberal Dan's on tonight at 8 p.m. Central Time. Be sure to watch Liberal Dan. And then Wednesday, super duper be sure that you watch Liberal Dan, because if you watched Hal Sparks this morning, you saw John Fugelsang, right? Well, unless things have changed, as far as I know, on Wednesday at 8 p.m. Central. So please adjust accordingly to your time zones. I don't know where you all live, so adjust accordingly. 8 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Wednesday. Sometimes you have to say things over and over again. Wednesday, 8 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Central Time. John Fugelsang is going to be a guest on the Liberal Dan channel. So make sure you guys check that out. That's going to be a huge show. There it is, Jolie. Thank you so much. There's the link. If you haven't ever gone to Liberal Dan, hit that link. Give him a subscribe, but hit the subscribe button. Give him a sub, and hit the notification bell. And those notification things aren't 100%, so you might want to write down on your calendar, circle your calendar, whatever it is you got to do. Make sure you don't miss Wednesday. What time? 8 p.m. Central Time. John Fugelsang, the great John Fugelsang, will be guesting on Liberal Dan show. As far as, I hope that hasn't changed. And Aaron West there says, "Want more Fugelsang? John Fugelsang will be on a special Liberal Dan podcast this Wednesday, 5 p.m. Pacific time. Oh, wait a minute, 7 p.m. Oh, was I saying the wrong time? See, oh my God. Now, how do I reverse something when I've already hypnotized you guys into saying 8 p.m. Central Time? I apologize, Liberal Dan. I gave out the wrong time. So it's 7 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Central Time, 8 p.m. Eastern Time. But there's the link. Write it down, whatever you got to do, and make sure you watch that show. It's going to be a great show. Yes, 7 p.m. Central. I'm sorry, Aaron. I don't know. Well, I've been saying 8 p.m. Central Time, I think, forever. I think all these years that I've been sort of promoting Liberal Dan or telling people about the show, I think I've said 8 p.m. Central. I think I've been saying that forever. Well, anyhow, go and check it out. Don't miss it. It's going to be a great show on there. And I'll see you guys. Another great show will be tomorrow right here, Trucker John, at 9 a.m. Pacific Time. And we'll do it all again. We'll do it all again. We'll do it live. We're going to do it live. All right, guys. So, he's doing the show early. Oh, okay. So I guess I've been right before, but I was just wrong on this one. doing a special time. It might have something to do with scheduling it when Fugelsang is, available. Very busy, man. All right, so Susie Jones, right after Hal Sparks Show. Yeah, on Wednesday. So that'll be awesome. So be sure to, after Hal Sparks, raid your little butts right over to Liberal Dan. All right, guys. I guess that's it for now. I'll see you guys tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Pacific time. So really the only thing left to do is the words of wisdom, which is a staple here on the Trucker John Show. It really is. It's a people love it. So I can't stop doing it. Get a paper, pencil, pen, whatever. Write this down and put this in your diary, whatever. All right. So today's words of wisdom are as follows. Okay. So just remember, folks.
Well, it's time to say goodbye. The show has come to an end. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Have some fun times, hopefully nothing too bad. We might talk about war crimes. Might talk about Baghdad. I doubt we'll talk about door chimes. But if we did, I'd be only too glad. So style of Easter, baby. The show is over, but could I ask you maybe to take a shower? No, that's not what I meant, but I couldn't think of anything to rhyme with over. All screwed up. Oh shit, I should have stuck to truck driving, who I tried to kid. At least when I was out there driving, I could handle a skid. But doing this live stream, baby, has been a real kid. So I hope to see y'all again right here on Trucker John live stream. We're gonna do it again and again, right here in the Trucker John live stream. Yeah, the Trucker John live stream. We're gonna come back and do it all again. No, this ain't no dream. This is where right here on the Trucker John live stream. Know it's time to say goodbye. The show is coming in. But don't be sad, no, don't you cry. We're all gonna come back and meet again. Rolling down the highway in my rusty old rig. I'm a retired trucker, but my spirit's still big. Living in Vegas, where the lights never sleep. Broadcasting my thoughts for the world to keep. From politics to pop culture, I've got it all. Sharing my views, no matter how big or small. Talking about food, the movies and bugs. Shining a light on all the social issues. No shows, I've driven through the desert, seen the city so bright. But now I'm living in a different kind of fight. From my apartment in Las Vegas, I hold the key, exploring the world through my live stream for free.
So you want to take a trip down Paradise Road, but it ain't that pretty, it ain't paved with gold. Everybody's got the dirty little secrets, everybody's got some things unknown. But if you ain't real careful, baby, it'll cut you down to the bone. Under all those bright lights, you've gotta learn to ignore the glitter. It's all about fight or flight, and you don't wanna do either. So go on down to Paradise Road, it'll make you wish that you were young. But all it'll do is make you feel old and regret trading in your love for lust. It's all just a big charade, it's all just one big game, and it ain't about love, it's all about the thrills. It's about staying in the hunt, it's about going in for the kill. So head on down to Paradise Road, that's where your friends are now. They're the people that nobody knows. So go ahead and make your big show. So live it up on Paradise Road, just don't let anyone know. It'll be your dirty little secret, it'll be your guilty little pleasure. Living a secret that the whole world sees, hiding in plain sight among the scum and the thieves. So damn hard to ever be pleased. Everyone wants to live the good life, everybody wants a piece of paradise. But where would you run? Where would you hide? What would you do to buy a little more time? Grandiose dreams of happily ever after are really just another day's end. And when the sun goes down, you just lay there wondering, can you really do it all again? You're praying for one last shot, you're hoping for one last big win. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along. Paradise Road is calling, so you better hurry along.